What up, party people? Welcome to Nerd Party Talk, the show where we take time to celebrate all that is gloriously nerdy.
I'm Johnny Vu.
And I'm Christopher George, and welcome to our review of Edge of Tomorrow, starring Tom Cruise, based on the light graphic novel by Hiroshi Sakurazaka, yeah, something like that. But yeah, what an awesome film.
Yeah, pretty good film.
I enjoyed it.
I really like the title for the graphic novel.
Yeah, all you need is kill. Yeah,
all you need is kill.
They should have kept that. And originally, they were gonna keep that that title, and they changed it to Edge of Tomorrow. But after seeing this film, I guess I could see why.
Yeah,
because it really literally took because the light graphic novel was just literally a snapshot of this film.
I didn't get a chance to read it.
Yeah, I read it a couple of days ago, which is really good, and it got me even more excited about this film. So if you haven't read it, please read it.
It was just like a little book, because I remember handing it to you.
Yeah, it was really
this big.
Yeah, it was really short. Like I finished it within that hour.
Yeah, all right.
So the book was really good, and this movie kind of expanded on All You Need Is Kill.
Yeah.
So what'd you like about this film?
I've always liked Tom Cruise. It doesn't even matter if he's a crazy Scientologist. I've always liked Tom Cruise. He's magnificent in anything he's in.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise plays this guy who just like pretty much, he's like a dictator. He's some sort of person that just talks on like CNN and talk shows.
Yeah, he's like
he gets
media analyst
or
or
something like that. He pretty much tells people like to go to war and stuff like that, like just some basic propaganda. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. And like he's not a fighter, and he plays that really well in the beginning too, when he's like very like, oh no, like I can't do this, and he keeps trying to run away and stuff. That's pretty good. And we got Emily Blunt as
she's so lovely.
Yeah, she's delightful. She's pretty good in everything.
Who's she married to again?
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
He's in The Office. He's a great guy too. Great, awesome guy too. Yeah, I love him in The Office. Can't say enough about him. So are we gonna talk spoilers? We can do spoilers.
Yeah, we can do spoilers. Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you were saying about Tom Cruise, I always loved Tom Cruise. I was always a huge fan of him. Like, craziness aside, you know what? Even after the whole Oprah thing, I didn't even think that was like.
That was nothing.
That was nothing. Like,
people
the man was in love. Like can't expect.
Yeah.
Like. He was just a normal human being, but
yeah.
But yeah, his roles in like Magnolia, which he was nominated. I don't know if he won that Oscar that year.
I'm not too sure.
But he was just a small part of that film, and he owned the screen. In this particular film, he's just as stellar as always.
Freaking delightful.
He's just like that.
He's
the quintessential action hero.
Yeah, he owns these roles. Like
his last film was Ghost Protocol, no?
Not too sure, but I liked him that too. He was just as good in that. Yeah,
he was good. I always thought he could play Solid Snake. I thought he would be a good Solid Snake.
So we got this guy named Doug Liman directing Edge of Tomorrow. He's the same guy that did Born Identity and Jumper, and
yeah, you can tell because he has that like kind of like shaky action cam.
Yeah, it worked really well when they were on the beach. It reminded me of like a modern day Normandy, like D-Day when you're storming the beach. It was great. It was great, honestly.
So the concept of this film is really interesting. Basically, if you haven't read All You Need Is Kill, the main protagonist, what's his name? Because it's different in the comics.
It's Cage.
Something Cage. William Cage. Yeah. So essentially, he inherits this ability. So basically, we're at war with this alien race called, and they call them the Mimics, and he inherited this power from them where he can essentially go back in time by killing himself. Hence the name All You Need Is Kill. Which is where they got that from. And so every time he dies, he goes back to this certain point, and he essentially just trains him. So he has foresight, but he also trains himself to like how to fight these things, and so he knows what's going on. And his the the other girl, Emily Blunt's character, Rita, she previously had this power as well, and they kind of collaborate and trying to figure out a way how to destroy these villains.
It's a great sci-fi freaking adventure. Like, it's like any video game, any gamer out there, you play a video game and then you die at one point and you restart at a checkpoint, and it's kind of like how it was, but starting at the beginning of the game over and over again. There were even some times, like I was saying, that I was kind of getting frustrated because I'm like, damn, like I feel so bad for this guy. He has to do the same thing over and over again. But the great thing is, like, the director, he did it so well to the point where, like, you kind of just like, it's not like he's gonna play the whole day over and over and over again. It's not like that Vantage Point movie when it's from different perspectives, but he kind of just like showed you that, like, oh, he's gonna kill himself, and then shows you a little bit of like a scene that you already saw, and then it continues on to something else.
They must have been able to shoot it pretty quickly because they had essentially the same scene.
Yeah, there was some dialogue. I saw some like scenes that were like panning up, and like some of the same scenes that they reused, but I'm sure that they just went, all right guys, let's do this, one take, all right, next take, okay, just a little bit, and they just shot all that like one freaking hangar scene in one point at one day, I mean, and then they did another scene and they just shot it over and over again.
You know, it's funny, even our experience watching this movie was similar because
it was freaking hilarious.
No, because before the movie started, we saw it in IMAX. They had the whole IMAX introduction, and then they actually showed Maleficent first, and we were like, wrong movie.
And then I ran out, told the guy we got the wrong movie.
And then they resetted it, and then the IMAX
saw it again.
Almost same trailers as well, and it was just like deja vu.
That was too funny. That was too funny.
Yeah, this movie had a lot of humor in it too, which was cool.
It was pretty good. Yeah, like
it was a very layered movie.
Yeah, like I thought it was just gonna be like a mindless action movie, and you're gonna have a lot of fun doing it. But like everything was actually pretty interesting too, the lore or whatnot. Like it was pretty cool, and the way you see Tom Cruise's character advances, and like the whole. Did you buy the love story?
It was very subtle. Like I was actually gonna bring that up next. It was very subtle. Like they didn't push it too far, but you knew that like there was like a connection between them.
If I was William, like I would fall in love with that girl too. You're spending like every day the same day. It's like freaking 51st dates or Groundhog Day. Yeah.
It's kind of like
like that, but you're spending the whole day with her. Like she might not be in love with you. That's why in the end she said that line, which kind of made sense.
I wish.
I wish.
I knew you better.
I knew you better. So here's just a kiss.
But it kind of sucks.
Yeah, I could sympathize with this character like every day with this girl. Like so. Then every time you have to explain, like, and it was cool too because like there was times when he's just in the beginning and he's just he just knows the power and he's like, oh, like he's stumbling, he's trying to explain, but in the end he's just like, yeah, power, you, this, that, let's go, keep going, and it was like a lot more fast paced after.
It had multiple climaxes because like you thought that one part where they originally thought where the Omega monster was, and then it declined, and then it went up to the ending again.
It's pretty cool because like with that power you could be like figure stuff out, and then like you know how they figured out that thing wasn't there, and he just kills himself and you can just skip that and be like, it's not there, let's move on to this thing.
But it's cool because like the mimics were also learning as well, right? Because every time an alpha got destroyed, they would reset. So they were kind of going against each other, though you didn't know that it was going in the on in the background, but you kind of figure it out when you see that certain things that they were trying like weren't working.
You don't see the mimics in the movie until like maybe 30 minutes or like not 30, like maybe 25 minutes into the movie because kind of establishing Tom Cruise's character. but they're badass. They're across from like hounds and those weird Matrix things in number 3. They're freaking badass. Like their visuals, the way they moved were just wicked. Because every time they like twitch this way or look the other way, you'd see like just weird like spikes or hairs coming out of them. And it was really nice. It was an interesting
design. It was different than in the comics. So
what did it look like in the comics?
You know what, like the penciling was just it was really simple. It is a manga. So
was it a manga, not a
well, they have
novel?
They have the manga, and then they have the, which I think is more expanded.
Oh, okay.
And then they have the lighter novel.
The lighter graphic novel?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And I thought the exoskeleton suits were kind of cool.
Yeah.
They kind of looked freaking lame as shit. They kind of looked like the posters. Elysium. Yeah, I didn't think that I was going to be a big
but they were a lot more badass than I was expecting. Like they had like the 2 turrets like right here.
It reminded me of StarCraft. When Cage actually started like honing the skills better, then he started just kicking ass in it. Because in the beginning, when he was kind of explaining like these suits make you better, like you don't need training and you can kick ass. But that wasn't the case. Like, dude, you're trying to sell something, but you didn't even know how to use it. Like, it was kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of trippy that he didn't know how to use it. But I guess like throughout the movie, I was like, maybe he just said that to get soldiers to go into war because he was kind of trying to persuade them into it anyway. So yeah.
The entire about 3/4 of the movie, I was trying to figure out where I've seen the sergeant from, and then I realized after, I'm like, oh, that's Bill Paxton. Like, so I was really impressed that he was able to hide his like normal persona, because he usually has the same like kind of
authoritative
tone. Because like in Twister, he's like
he haven't seen that movie for so long.
He's usually kind of the same character in most of the films that I've seen. So it was kind of nice to like, he kind of had the same effect happened in Tropic Thunder when Tom Cruise like when you found out that Tom Cruise was
I don't know, the bald guy, whatever.
The bald
guy. He does good in that too, and it's a comedy.
He got nominated for an Oscar for that, didn't he?
What? Really? That's crazy. But yeah, Edge of Tomorrow is a freaking delightful time.
Yeah.
Cool. I knew
everything's there. Yeah. Romance, action, comedy, everything you want in a film.
It's there. Just like nerded out hardcore. And you guys got to remember, this is like a graphic novel. This is like straight out of the books too. So this year for like comic movies, like Marvel, DC, whatever,
we're spoiled.
We're kicking ass. Like we're kicking ass right now.
Was there anything you didn't like about this movie?
I don't know. There were some like slow points, like there were, but like I don't know, like I didn't like too much. Like there's some stuff where it's just like automatically like just like, oh, this is here to advance the plot, but like it wasn't. It was just very minor, and it didn't bother me that much. I even like the way they handled the secondary characters, not like secondary to Emily Blunt. Like even though
the really minor characters.
The minor characters too. They were all pretty cool too. Like they're kind of more cliche-ish, like military guys, but they were all great too. Like
I was I was starting to get a little frustrated because when they kept going back in time, like, because like I don't know, you kind of want that resolution, but that it just adds to like the whole anticipation.
Well, that's why they kind of made him lose it, so that like the end, the third act, the stakes were much higher because this time he can't die and do it again. Right. So it was a lot better. It was a lot better, the third act, and the last scene, like the whole underwater thing, was pretty convincing too. I bought that scene like 100% because everything was quiet. It made it more dramatic. And when kind of like when he let go of the thing. And the pins came out. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
It was cool to see how like the different outcomes of like each decision that you made.
Yeah, and it's not like they stuck too long on one scene. Like there was one scene where it's like, yeah, I've tried that car,
yeah,
didn't work.
They explained
I haven't tried these two cars. Let's just try one.
Like it was cool how like when they brought in a new scene that you haven't seen before, they explained like how they got there.
Yeah, and it wasn't too like shoehorned in like, oh, the director and the writers kind of respected us. Like there's one scene where he saves Emily Blunt and then he just starts tearing shit up. It's like, oh, he did this before.
Yeah,
and they didn't have to shoot him and kill him and show him doing it again. So it was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Awesome film. What would you give it out of actually any closing comments before we give it a rating?
It's a good movie. Go and see it. Like as I said, there's everything you want in a film in this movie. And I would actually recommend reading All You Need Is Kill before. You don't have to, but I would recommend it because I don't know, you get
gives you a little bit more like of a respect and like
and like
appreciation for the film too.
Exactly, and it gets you a little bit more excited for it as well. It gives you a little bit of the backstory. It is a little bit different than All You Need Is Kill. But it made me appreciate Edge of Tomorrow more because of how they expanded that simple storyline. But yeah, how about you?
Well, Tom Cruise is phenomenal as always, and he's gonna keep being good, and he's gonna do Mission Impossible 5 and be great in all these films that he's gonna be doing. Emily Blunt is freaking delightful as always. She's starting to pop up a little bit more into like these really cool movies, and she plays a pretty badass person in this film. So yeah, it's a fun freaking time, a great summer movie, and especially like it's not like, you know, when sometimes in summer we have Expandables and like those kind of movies and Fast and Furious, like those are good summer films, but this is a excellent summer film, and it's great. I can't wait to see it again, own it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, the acting is stellar. The story, the plot was great.
It was fun.
Pacing was awesome. All the cinematography, the visual effects.
It was intelligent. It was great. It was great. So what would you give it out of 10?
I'd probably give it a 9. That's 9? Maybe a little bit lower, maybe 8.8.
Yeah.
But I'll round it up to a 9. I just enjoyed it that much. There wasn't too much there wasn't anything I didn't like about it. Aside from the whole resolution thing that I was talking about earlier. But
I give it an A too. I give it a 9 as well. Like, I'm sure if I read the graphic novel, I'll probably go out and get it soon. I appreciated it more. Like I really, really like this movie. It's awesome. It was like, there were so many chances for it to fail. Like seeing the trailer, like the suits could have been lame. The time travel, the dying thing could have been like kind of dumb, but
I'm glad Tom Cruise has stayed out of the media because I'm sure his films like took a little bit of hurting with the whole
Scientology stuff.
Yeah, believe whatever you want to believe. That doesn't make any difference to the person you are. Because from what I hear, people talk about Tom Cruise. He's a cool guy.
Like, I know. Yeah, he was in Toronto like a week ago promoting the film, and a bunch of my friends on Facebook saw him.
He threw a rap party for the cast and crew, and he didn't even attend it. Like he paid for everything, and he didn't attend it because he still had to shoot a few scenes. But that's just like how nice of a guy he seems to be. Great actor.
Great film. Great film.
Own it on Blu-ray when it comes.
Yeah, for sure. Right. So do you want to plug in our?
So if you want to continue being nerdy with us, just follow us on Twitter at Nerd Party Talk. Right there. Make sure you like and subscribe to our videos. We do contests. We get out there and talk to fans about stuff.
Is cleavage a requisite for doing cosplay?
No, but I thought I would have a little fun.
I'm trying really hard not to look at it.
It's okay, you can.